What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Comment Writers. We are a Kamen Rider review podcast. Today on the show, we're going to talk about Kamen Rider gavv episode 45. I'm your host, Josh Meek, the Uber Geek, and I'm joined, as always, by my good friend, Toby Tobes. How's it going, Toby?
Josh, horrible, because I have a tale of love and loss to share with you today.
I'm ready to live through this love and loss with you. The highs, the lows, the ups, the downs.
This is going to be
high school football.
This is going to be such a specific, ridiculous story, but that's what I use this time for in my week, in my life.
Of course, naturally.
What's the dumbest thing I did this week that I can bring up and talk about? So, this is a Toby music story, of which all the best stories usually are. So the way I have my record player set up is through a very, very old Sony surround sound, like home theater.
Okay.
With the fancy little 5-disc changer.
Nice.
But it's fancy because I can use it as like a TV video pass through. The turntable goes through as the amp.
Oh, so it's not that old. If it has like video in, it's not that old.
It is probably from when I bought my first house, and that was 17 years ago at this point.
Okay. I was gonna say I've definitely picked up like Goodwill receivers from like the 70s before, so this is a vastly different time frame. But go on.
This is probably the last time that any company in the 2000s made solid electronics.
Yeah.
Like 2008's finest discount Sony surround sound 5.1 is not lasting nearly as long today. But so I always use it for records. It's just like the amp that I need. And today I was like, I'm starting to stockpile a shitload of Japanese CDs because apparently Japanese music doesn't like making records, at least not of the bands I enjoy.
Yeah,
which is a completely different issue, but that's not we're not going to harp on today. So I opened up one of my brand new CDs, freshly imported from Japan, probably sat in shipping customs for months. I was so excited. I'm like, I'm going to pop this CD open today. I'm going to freaking blast it in my office. It's going to be a good day.
Did it have the cool cardboard or the paper on the cover that like wraps the CD? You know what I'm talking about? It
sure does. And I kept it nice and pristine. Like it looks, as dumb as it sounds, it looks like all the things I thought were fancy imports when I used to like once in a very, very rare long time. Like would import CDs when I was like 15. I was like, holy shit, this is from Japan with one bonus song. This is the greatest thing ever. What's this little sleeve? So going through those, I'm like, oh, here's an idea. I could go on Spotify and listen to this album. I could put this album in the brand new Blu-ray player I got for my computer to rip Blu-rays from for obviously legitimate means. And I was like, no, I'm going to put this in my surround sound because it has a disc drive in it. This is going to be the bee's knees, as the kids say. I was like, I'm going to fucking jam out. So I walk over, I change the input for the first time in literally, I would say 17 years. From TV video to CD, or DVD, I think it says DVD. And it starts clicking and I hear gears are grinding and I'm like, okay, like it's booting up the CD-ROM, no big deal. And then like the disc one light goes on. I said, wait a minute, there's already a CD in here. What the hell is in here? So I pop it open and I realize it is a CDR of one of my favorite, like growing up Tobes core bands, which just basically means like screamo hardcore, as I said many times. But it's a burned CDR that I looked up. The band put this album out in 2005. So this CDR has survived from 2005 until 2025.
Nice.
And I was like, holy shit, this is rad. It was yellower than like super oxidized SNES's look.
Oh,
like,
wow.
Monitors. Like it was like yellow as shit. And I was like, I wonder if this still works. I wonder how long this was in here.
Yeah, I'm guessing full on disc rot at this point.
So I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna hit play. I hit play. Josh, it sounded beautiful. It sounded just like I ripped it back in the day. I blasted through it. I was telling other people online, I was like, this is the greatest album of all time. This is so much fun. Blah, blah, blah. The album stops. I go, okay, the disc drive works. Now I'm putting my fancy Japanese CD in here. So I press disc 2. The tray comes back out and says, give me another disc, please. And basically, it's not like it's the carousel kind. Like, so if people who never had disc changes, because I feel like we're getting obsoleted of like...
Oh, yeah, no one knows what we're talking about now at this point. Yeah.
So there used to just be CD-ROMs, one CD. And then they made like disc changes for cars and home theaters and everything. We could like load 5, 10, 20, 30, X amount of different discs at the same time.
Yep.
And depending on the way the tray worked, it was either one drive that popped in and just shifted where the disc was internally, or it was like a big flat like Lazy Susan. I don't even know if you
Yeah,
know
like
what those are.
exactly.
It's like a
That's a good.
giant.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like a,
giant platter, and there's a bunch of CDs sort of laid out around the platter in a circular
yeah.
pattern. Yeah.
If you think about like what a stereotypical movie reel looks like, if you look up a ping file of a movie reel, you put the CDs in the little holes, and that would fit in the reel, and it sits
Yeah.
flat basically.
And these are
So I'm like,
usually the tray only opens enough where you can get like 2 discs out at one time, and then
at
you got to
best,
rotate it to get the other ones out. Yeah.
yeah. So I press disc 2. I'm like, let's fucking do this. We're gonna rock this. So I press disc 2. The tray doesn't pop all the way out, and then the little lip that's inside the tray that you're supposed to put the CD in doesn't come all the way out either. Now it's like in a standstill, and I'm
Oh.
like, okay, this shit's sold, no big deal. So I pull the actual lip out that you put the CD in, and I close the drive, and it doesn't close all the way. And I start thinking, I'm like, this is not going to be good. So then I push with my hand the actual like physical drive all the way back into the stereo because I'm like, as long as I get it in there, it should be good. Then I start hearing clicks. I start hearing pops. In my mind, I go, "Am I fucking up my brand new CD they got from Japan?" The mood starts changing, and then the unit itself starts flashing lights, and then
Okay.
says error code and numbers.
Okay.
And now I'm like, well, fuck. Now I can't get the disc out. I don't think. So now I'm pressing the disc eject thing, and it's not working. And the more I press disc eject, the more I hear a grinding noise inside the stereo system. So now I start hearing the grinding noise, and now I'm like, well, fuck this. Nothing good's happening. I gotta get this out of here.
Yeah.
So I turn it off. I unplug it. Josh, I completely dismantled my surround sound today. I took the
Okay.
whole
You took the cover off and stuff.
I took the cover off. There was a giant plastic box wrapped around where the CD-ROM was. I
Uh-huh.
tried to yank that out, didn't come out. I did the nice thing first. I was like, I'm going to unscrew this more and more. So I basically dismantled my whole little system. And then I see the tray that the discs are in. And I'm like, I don't see how to pull the actual discs out, but I can get a screwdriver in the side of this. And I do see there's some give in here. So I dig a judgment call, and I go, fuck this. I'm just breaking this shit out of here. I'm so mad right now. I jam the screwdriver into the disk drive. I pry it up, I pop it up. I hear the plastic snap. I hear a disc snap, fly across the room, and flip over on the opposite side.
Oh no.
And I look across the room and go, oh fuck, which one did I break? I look down. My Japanese CD is in a pristine condition, just sitting there nicely where I saw it.
Good.
And I looked across the room and I was like, wow, the CDR that made it 20 years, that aged with time, that was just lamenting over how much I loved this album and how perfect it was. I smashed it with my rage today. And I was like, fuck Sony, I'm still mad at this. I'll never listen to another CD again.
Well, you listen. You got one last hurrah with that album today. You got, it lived its life, its intended life, and then it got stranded in that disc changer for 20 years. And then instead of just slowly experiencing disc rot in there and never being found again, it got one last big hurrah. You got to tell everyone about it. You had it. It's like when you're gonna put your dog down and you take it out for ice cream, right? That's what it is. It's like you have one great day and then you send the CD off to the farm, and everyone had a great memory.
I suppose that's all fair. The most upsetting thing to me was, so you probably noticed this, possibly, maybe not, I don't know, but like a lot of times, and especially in the old days, we talked about like stealing albums and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of times where CD rips or like old CD files, whatever, there was like little interstitials between songs instead of just like song to song. There was like 3 seconds of pre-song where it was like hidden in the album, kind of whatever kind of deal.
Yep.
So the reason my burnt CD was so special is because it was super stolen from years and years ago. So all the interstitials were in it. But if I go onto Spotify now, the album is on here, but the little interlude dancey vibe things are not. So that's why I always kept that CD secret, because I was like, this is the real version. This is the good shit.
Yeah.
And once again, I broke with my rage today.
Kids miss out today. I do feel bad for kids sometimes in that regard, because like there was something really magical about opening a CD and like discovering those Easter eggs. And in my memory, those were really common. Like the whole like, oh, you got to rewind a little bit and then you get a secret part, or like leave the CD playing and then there's like a secret track that's like 30 tracks down the line that you can hear the band talking for a few minutes. Like in my memory, those were really common and those were really fun to explore. And like you said, none of that stuff, for the most part, made the transition over to Spotify streaming, and no one does it anymore because of streaming. It's one of the many things that like is the charm of physical media that we just don't have anymore.
Exactly. It's all
um,
going to shit because of fucking much like when I came into this new year and I was like, fuck Spotify. And I was very mad. You know what? I'm back on that again. Fuck Spotify.
nice.
All you
Uh,
idiots with your damn downloads.
I'm sitting next to a receiver as well, and it is one of my proudest, I guess, like hardware things that I've done because I found this receiver. It is it's a Yamaha, and it's like a really nice one from like back in the day. But I got it at Goodwill, I think for like $5 maybe or something, and it was like marked as like didn't work basically. Or like I know I plugged it in at Goodwill and the screen didn't light up. So I was like, $5, like I'll bring it home and take it apart. Like at the worst, it'll be fun to take this thing apart, right?
You can learn all
So
about the tubes and the diodes and everything else.
exactly. So I brought it home and realized that sound actually did come out of it. The screen didn't work, but sound came out. But there were two problems. So one, the screen was the first problem, and the second was that when you would turn the volume knob, it made this horrible scratchy noise that was like it was awful noise whenever you would change the volume.
I always
Uh,
thought that was cool. I forget. I think it was my grandmother's stereo. She had like one of the giant console turntable things that
yeah,
was
yeah,
like
yeah.
the size of a dining room table, basically. But all it was speakers and like a turntable. And for whatever reason, like when you turn the volume to certain things, you go. So I'll just turn it for the hell of it because I thought I'd make it a cool noise. Never actually thinking about realizing whatever if I was making something worse or breaking something or whatever. I
So
just thought it made a cool noise.
what I found out how that works is it just needs to be like greased. Like you can put like WD-40 in there, and as long as you like get it sprayed in the right spot, like that clears it up. So that was a really easy fix once I did some reading on how to do that. The screen was a really fun one when I took it all apart. This is old enough that it's not like an LCD screen. How it worked was it was basically the screen that only lets light through at particular spots. So basically they'll cover enough of the screen and only let the light through to show like the number that they're trying to show or whatever it is they're trying to read out. So it's this weird like physical screen that changes and then a light shines from behind to make the numbers appear. And the only thing that was wrong was that the light had burnt out. So I just had to solder on a new little light and then it worked perfectly again. So it's like I repaired the two problems with this $5 receiver and now it's still the one that I use with my turntable. And I feel very proud of myself for that.
I mean, that's genius work. Like, I forget what. There's something I bought like that once too, where there was like, oh, this will never work again. It's $10 because, hey, by the way, like the main function of X item doesn't work. And there was a weird like a gap in my life where I was like, I'm pretty handy. Like I've taken a computer apart. All
Yeah.
this has to be mostly the same. And granted, like my soldering skills suck, and I can't do that kind of shit. But if it's just like rerunning a wire or like reclipping something or figuring out like, oh, this looks fried, unplug this and plug it back in, that it's a very simple fix, but it feels like goddamn magic when you do it.
Yeah, it really did. Yeah, like I didn't do anything like magical there. I didn't do anything groundbreaking there, but it certainly felt like I was a wizard that day. It was like, look at this thing. It functions again. I brought it back to life. Toby, speaking of like fun physical media things, did you hear about Lord's recent album?
I heard that. Oh, is that the one that she printed it on a clear disc and the players couldn't play it because it was clear?
Yeah, yeah. Which is one of those things where it's like, hey, it's really cool that you're doing something awesome with like physical media where most people would not even care. But the actual practice is it's clear discs and a bunch of CD players wouldn't play it because obviously it's a clear disc. So a ton of people had Lord CDs that were just completely non-functional for them.
See, again, that's good. We have to go to Spotify.
Yep.
Like I could have like a twofer today if I would have bought the Lord CD and put it in my broken turntable or my broken disc
Oh
changer.
yeah.
I would have been like, oh, the CD drive must be shitting itself because it's so old, no big deal. And I don't know that I would have thought about the fact that the clear disc was actually fucking it up.
Yeah, I think it depends on the player too, like whatever the laser that shoots at the disc is. But what I've read is in a lot of disc that people were trying, is that it was not working for them.
Well, the crazy thing too is like, not that it's the best example, but I have old punk CDs that were they were EPs, so they're like 15, 20 minutes worth of music. But instead of like printing the whole label on top of the album, like you really only have to cover where the album is burnt on the foil on the backside.
Yeah,
So like
yeah,
half of the album on the outside would be the clear, just plain plastic because there was no data on it and there was nothing to worry about. But like I never would have thought like you could even just print it on an actual clear disc because that seems impossible to get the foil in there to like put stuff on, I guess.
yeah.
Or
I wouldn't have thought so either. The pictures I've seen when you hold it up, like there's a tint to it, but it is pretty clear. Like there's really no like reflective layer for the most part, like that's gonna bounce a ton back. It is. It's an interesting marvel that it works at all, but yeah, clearly doesn't work super perfectly.
that's to get people to buy the album twice, though.
Yeah, I guess I don't think that she has a non-transparent version, is what I remember reading. That maybe is different now, but when it first came out, it was like you can get the transparent one that doesn't work for you or nothing.
I mean, this is how you boost the shit out of your Spotify numbers too.
Yeah,
Because
sure.
now you still want to listen to it, and now you're like, I'll go to fucking Spotify.
Yeah,
It's really like it's it's the same, but completely different as when Taylor Swift's Tortured Poet Department Society, what the fuck it was called, when that came out, and the people that pre-ordered the full album, when the album came out, an hour later she put out like the extended edition, and you had to buy the album twice to get the extended edition on the main album, and everyone did it. So everyone pre-ordered the album. She got like millions and millions of purchases, and then like the cool version, the real version, some would call it, came out an hour later, and everyone just bought it again.
yeah. I'm not a Taylor Swift fan at all. I was not buying these records, no matter what, and I was angry about that when that happened. That was such BS.
That seems like pro calculation. That's how you become a billionaire.
Yeah, that's
just,
what it feels like. Yeah,
you get
it
crazy
feels.
fans, and you go, "Here's the same thing 3 times. Just keep buying it. What the fuck do I care?"
Yep, exactly. Goodness.
Goodness.
Toby, you and I are people who play video games a lot, and we've played a lot of video games online, against other people on the internet.
I play video games against you to a dramatic fanfare sometimes.
Certainly, indeed. And when you play games online against other humans, there are certain things that you expect them to be able to do to you, like that you've steeled yourself for, right? Like you expect them to be able to like yell at you over the microphone, right? And you can mute them or whatever. Well, I've been getting into this game over the past couple weeks, just very casually. I've been playing table tennis on my VR headset.
So is it
And
like the old Rockstar one, just the VR table tennis, basically?
pretty much, yeah. It's called 11 VR. And it is, yeah, pretty much like the old Rockstar one where they're going for like ultra realism. And I've never like had a VR experience that feels that much like the real world equivalent, but this is crazy. Like you can toss the ball in the air and then like kind of like look down at it and like bounce it on your paddle, and you can feel it as it's happening with like the vibrations and stuff. And it's really, really convincing. And I've never really played table tennis in real life ever. Like more than just like a couple hits on like a random table and stuff like that. So I have been playing it a little bit, offline, like trying to beat the bots and stuff. And then it has an online mode. And apparently tons of people play this on the online mode. And it's like this big, huge community. So I started dabbling in the online. And let me tell you, it is crazy when you have your online opponent, your online, person literally standing across the table from you. So not only can they like talk to you on the mic, but they can like gesture at me. So like the first game I played, it was a fine experience. The person didn't speak the whole time to me, but like when it was my serve, he like would do this like gesture to indicate it was my turn. When he got like a bad hit, you could see that he was frustrated because he would like throw his arms up and stuff. And I was thinking like, man, this is crazy that like he can see me and I can see him, and we can interact on this like non-verbal level. Like that's a really, it felt weirdly like pervasive, not pervasive, but it felt invasive, right? Like, man, it feels like this person's in my home with me, and that was kind of strange.
How? Two questions.
Uh-huh.
How much of the VR person can you see?
So I'm wearing like a helmet, and I have things in my hands. So you get to see basically the person's upper body, and the part that you can control then is like where your head is at and where your arms are at, and it's sort of like rigging the person up from that data, if that makes
But but
sense.
it's but just doing a torso effectively, like a
It's just doing
torso
a
with
torso
the head.
effectively. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
because
And so
the
and like positioning left and right and stuff, obviously, but like you do just see a floating torso and yeah, arms and head.
okay, because I'll say if it was the whole body, I would definitely do like a jerk off motion while people were serving the ball.
So
That's
I was
that's statement one more than a question, but I just wanted to throw it out there. That's where I would go down this rabbit hole if I was there.
so after this next experience that I'm going to describe, I did go read about other people's like weird experiences in VR table tennis. And yes, there are some people out there that are apparently monsters and will just like will like walk through the table and try to mess with you while you're serving, or will like get right up in your face and make crazy motions and stuff and things like that.
That
Um
seems like it's all part of the fun. That's the risk you dabble when you.
that is what I'm finding. That is sort of the risk. So the one experience that threw me so far off was a person who was like trying to be nice to me, but it was so strange because the person, again,
Because no
I'm
one's
brand
ever
new
nice.
at
Because
this.
no one's ever nice to me.
So I threw the ball up and like I messed up my serve a couple times where I didn't bounce it on my side before I bounced it on his side. And so I messed up like two times, and then it's on to his serve. And then he tells me, he was like, "Oh, hey man, it's got to bounce on both sides." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I'm just really bad at this." And then so then we play a little bit, we go back and forth, we go back and forth, and then at some point in the middle of him hitting a shot at me, he tells me over the mic, "Oh man, I'm trying to give you layups here, and I'm just missing them left and
That's
right."
amazing.
So like the guy was trying to be nice to me, but like he was doing it in a condescending way, and that felt even worse than if he was just mean to me. And I ended that table tennis game being like, this is maybe too intimate for me. Like maybe I don't want to be that close to another person on the internet. Like maybe VR is too close for me. I don't know.
Would you like the game better or worse if they walked through the table and got in your face? If they VRly like swung at your head and smacked you in the head while you were serving, if you could feel it in the visor, would you like that more
Ooh.
or less?
I think I would like it more because that'd be a better story. If someone tried to assault me in VR, that's like a way better story. So I think I would like it at least once. But
Yeah,
then after
that seems
that,
more fun to me too.
yeah.
And then my follow up question, since you're getting like tied into like, I'm not VR is not that crazy, but like, what if like there's a power surge while the VR is on, and you take the VR off, and you still just see the floating body when the VR is off,
Oh,
and you're like, am I still in the game or what's going on? And you get in your own Black Mirror episode.
oh my god! All time worst thing to get isekai'd into is the 11 table tennis game.
That seems like it'd be a great story though.
You're just wandering around with a bunch of d bags at the table tennis gym, and they're all just floating torsos. That'd be the worst.
No, that's when you get like the real good stories because everyone's just stuck there for years, and then they just sit there and they're like, yeah, man, I used to be somebody. Like, I had a family, I had we had a newborn in the house. I loved my wife. I spent all my time with my kid that I could. And my wife, for like our kid's second birthday, was like, you've helped so much, honey. You should just you go and relax. We really can't leave the house, but here, I'm gonna get you this virtual world that you can go enjoy. And I played one bad game of table tennis. Someone punched me in the face, and the helmet vibrated too hard, and I can't leave now. And
Here I am.
he just wistfully mourns away a better life.
And then it's in an anime that's called like How I Lost My Beautiful Family and Became an Expert Tennis Player.
Yeah, you need a couple more words in that title, but
I do, yeah.
stop that.
How I Lost My Beautiful Family and Became the Best Tennis Player that the world had ever seen. Oh my god, the anime. Perfect. So yeah, that's my fun crazy gaming experience as of late is VR table tennis.
That's a good one.
Thanks. Toby, we've talked about other things long enough. We should probably jump into some common writer discussion, I would say.
We should.
Yes, indeed. We are here to talk about Kamen Rider Gav, episode 45. I think this is really like the beginning of the final arc, is what it felt like to me. We are setting up story elements that are very clearly going to take us all the way to the end. And the first of those, there are kind of two main things really that happen in this episode. The first one of those happens here at the very beginning of the episode, where Shoma is back at Happy Pare by himself. And who walks in the door but none other than his brother Nielv, who he had been fighting and completely at odds with just very recently.
When you saw the boots, because he did a nice little dramatic reveal of like,
Yep.
"Where are all my friends?" and then mysterious boots walked in. Did you think it was Nielv, or did you think it was like his older brother whose name's escaping right, like Longo?
I thought it was Longo. Yeah, 100%.
Because they keep, I guess we'll vaguely throw us back to, it's all kind of the same story, I guess. But like Longo's still around, right?
He is. We see him at the end of this episode.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. But then
yeah, so he's in the background of everything still.
Which I guess is still weird to me. Oh no, we're good. Never mind. We can continue. I put the pieces together quick.
Okay.
So I was gonna say, because he grabbed Glada when she died, and she was like, "You'll be the last one I saw." And then we said like, "Oh, we met her in heaven. That makes sense, or purgatory, or whatever." But he just grabbed her before she died, and then she died.
Yeah,
so I answered the pieces in my brain as I was asking you.
Okay. And yeah, we've seen him like out on the streets, and now he's clearly following Nielv around since he ends up at the roof at the end where they're at. But yeah, we don't really know what his motives are yet.
And they actually did a really good job of like, once Nielv talked to Shoma the first time, and you can explain the conversation in a second. But after he talked to him the first time, they did an amazing job of like Where's Waldoing a person in an agent outfit in almost every scene that involved Shoma or Nielv walking around somewhere. Like, even if they're like real tiny in the background, there was almost an agent in every scene going forward the rest of the episode.
Oh, I maybe didn't notice that. That's interesting. Like there was just someone like watching Shoma?
Yeah, like, so I think the first one was a little bit more obvious, but Nielv and Shoma have their conversation. Nielv walks outside of the happy place because they're like, okay, we concluded our conversation. And I think it's when Shoma runs outside, but there's a little agent figure on a skyscraper, like all the way in the background.
Oh.
And starting from that point, I'm pretty sure I saw one in every scene going forward. At least when they were like doing things together.
That's a neat little attention to detail we don't normally expect from Kamen Rider.
So I'm not going to try to cherry pick through all of them now. I'm going to send you the first one now, quick.
Yeah, I was trying to do a quick scan to see if I could find.
Okay, so this is after Nielv says bye, and Shoma's outside, like thinking about what he talked about.
Oh, he's like way up there. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's just a little agent helmet. It says agent whatever overlooking the situation, and they pretty much do that over and over the rest of the episode.
That's cool. Yeah, that's neat because it really shows like Nielv is just trying to sort of like orchestrate this whole situation. He's got his spies out there ready to go.
Yeah. They played it very well for this little secret surprise, blah, 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 whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, that is interesting. Well, the conversation that they have is also, I'll say, quite a surprise because Nielv is basically wants, well, I guess, yeah, we should maybe separate what he says versus what we think he actually wants. What he says that he wants is he wants Shoma to come and run the Stomach family, basically to be the new head of the Stomach family and to essentially usurp the evil president, the bad president, become the new president. And he sells Shoma on this by telling him, hey, the dark infections were just a means to an end. If you take over, you can stop those. And we won't have any need to come to and from the Earth realm anymore. We can seal the door, and no more Granoots are going to be able to get to Earth and hurt Earth people anymore. So you can do those two things. I know they're important to you. it's important to me that the stomach family's on top, right? Like that's sort of his selling point.
Yeah, like the whole thing is basically like obviously Shoma has to take out LaSalle and everybody else first, but Pidgey's whole vibe is like, listen, I'm the brains. You're obviously the muscle. You're stronger than all of us. I see that now. Like you're OP God tier. You are the best. He's like, but we need the two of us. And he's like, but with this, he's like, we can just do whatever we want to. Doesn't that sound like a great idea to you?
Yeah. And then, of course, he reveals that the whole reason that Shoma escaped in the first place is because of him. He saw when they tried to kill him and his mother that Shoma was more resilient than he expected. Nielv explains that up until that point, he thought he was just a human that had a gavv, but now he recognizes him as more. He's got more potential. So basically, again, as an experiment, this is what Nielv does. He opened the door to the room where Shoma was being kept and allowed Shoma to sort of find his way out and escape. So this whole thing has been Nielv sort of like in the background, like, yes, I'm watching my experiment in motion here.
It's crazy because like it's both an extremely cheaty hand wave of like, sure, this is how this all happened. By the way, you never thought about this before, knew this before, but hey, this whole life is just all my part of my grand master plan.
Which of course then the question that begs is, do you think Nielv has something up his sleeve about this? Because I think that's pretty clear, right? He's clearly not going to tell Shoma the whole plan.
So
right?
I guess the swerve or the gimmick we have to believe is either A, Nielv really wants him to like be the boss with him, and he's like, fuck the rest of this family, they're all garbage anyway. And Longo is watching because he doesn't trust Nielv, or Longo knows that if Nielv tells Shoma, hey, we'll stop messing with people if you come back with us, that like Shoma will definitely do it because he's a good boy, and like they'll just take care of Shoma in the weird stomach world.
Could be.
Like I guess like whatever. I guess Longo's motivation is really the key to which way this is going.
Yeah, that's fair.
But it was crazy because like, especially with the part where like Shoma's like, I want all the answer presses back, and Nielv's like, sure, I don't give a fuck. And like minutes
he's
later,
never cared about those. So that yeah.
and truly minutes later, like everyone's having a nice family dinner. The mysterious knock at the door arrives, and then like Shoma just walks out, and so there's like two like warehouse box crates, packaging, shipping containers of all the anthropresses. And Shoma goes outside, and Yelv was like, "See, I told you, I didn't care who they are." And it's crazy. Like he just gave him like, I have to assume thousands of like human lives.
Thousands of people. Yeah. Yeah. This was like the single most like saving day that Shoma has had as a common writer, is just getting delivered thousands and thousands of people that he can free now. So that's the thing, of course, that then pushes him over the edge at the end, and he accepts the offer. He heads out into Granute World. He follows Nielv through a door, because obviously Shoma's a good guy and he wants to protect all his new friends on the Earth. So he's gonna do the self-sacrificing thing of like, maybe I'm trapped in Granute World, but at least all my friends are safe, right?
And he didn't even say bye to him. He just kind of wandered off. They're having like, Sachika made everyone's favorite meals for everybody, and she even made delicious little rock cupcakes for her friend Rakia.
Yeah.
And Shoma was like, "Oh, I'll answer the door," and then just disappears.
Yep.
So I'll assume like the anthropresses. Well, it's weird then, because I feel like we've established that only Shoma can cut the anthropresses open.
I think we've seen Hanto and Hanto and Rakia both do it. We've for sure seen Hanto do it.
See, I thought the last time Hanto had them, he just gave them to Shoma to cut.
Maybe, possibly.
So Rakia maybe, but Shoma, I don't know. But like he just like opened the door and he just ghosted. He went upstairs, ghosted, and never came back again.
I would hope that he released the people, or at least he knows that like Hanto can release them. I would hope he didn't just be like, all right, cool, I got these. Never gonna cut these people loose. Never gonna be back here. Not a problem. That wouldn't be very Shoma-like, I feel like.
Yeah, like obviously it's the hero's journey, and he feels like he's doing the right thing. It's just there's not enough moving parts to judge. There's like two very distinct paths where it goes.
Yeah.
But it would be funny if nothing else, this is kind of setting up for like the Willy Wonka ending or like something along those lines, or like Monsters Inc., where Shoma becomes the new manager of the stomach confection company, and they make like happy candy.
Yeah.
It just tastes good without killing people instead of making sad candy. So like I could still see that being the swerve at the end. Like Gotchard got Chemi World, where all of his friends were safe. We never had to worry about that, and everyone was happy, fine, whatever.
Yep.
And I feel like he could swing almost that same exact ending for this show and just replace the chemis with making candy out of human beings.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that Nielv is still going to swerve him, because I think Nielv is playing both sides. I think Nielv is going to try to undercut Shoma in some way, and it might even be that that Nielv is actually working with Longo still. I think that maybe is going to be the shocking reveal that Longo is not actually on the outs like you think he is. That he and Nielv are sort of scheming. But I do think, yeah, I can see the ending still being, even with all that in mind, that Shoma beats them and then still becomes like the president, still kind of becomes in charge, so that he can make his happy little world.
I guess the real question is, have we ever seen or recognized or able to recognize that Nielv even knows Longo's still alive?
No, he does not know. As far as I'm aware, there are none of the stomach family that know that he's alive, aside from Glada, who found out, I guess, right before she died.
So then I guess tied to that then, like the end of the last episode was they were doing their testing and Nielv's like, but there's no one as good as this test subject, and like stared at like the gavv form. So maybe, I don't know, like maybe Nielv just really does want Shoma to come help because he's like, I can't get a better test subject than you. Like, I'm going to do testing to you, but like we can crush everybody if we're together. So other than like stealing him for his brains or his powers or cloning him or some other bullshit, I don't see like the downside necessarily, I guess we'll call it.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, it could be just straightforward. It could be that Nielv, has his own motivations, but his motivations are just different than the rest of the stomach family. Like he wants to continue studying, the effects of the gavv on Shoma and stuff. That could be it. It could be simple. He might be a simple man.
Just
Put it
wants
all
to do
out
science.
there. So yeah, that's kind of the big revelation here in this episode, is that Shoma's heading out to become the new president of Granute World. And the other, I guess, half of the episode, Toby, is focusing on the relationship between Rakia and Sachika, which we'd seen them be friends before in the past. They're kind of buddies, but we knew that she didn't really know about his past as an evil Granute when he first came over and he was actually working with the Stomach family. So we got to see her in a recent episode, see him in Granute form out on the beach. And this time she's going to his little squatting area with Hanto, and they walk in, and he's in Granute form to test the antidote that they got. So she gets to see him up close and personal in Granute form, and then very quickly finds out that he has hurt people as a Granute, and he did work with the Stomach family, and he was collecting presses of people and all that stuff. So the episode, of course, revolves around, her feeling slighted about that, him feeling guilty about it, and then ultimately her accepting him and wanting him to be happy, and her forgiving him at the end.
I think the wackiest part of all of it, not that she cares and doesn't care, and like I made the joke last time and many times, like they are like the relationship troop out of other groups.
Uh-huh.
Like she's mom to Shoma, sister to Hanto, and like their relationship, Rakia's and Sachika's, seems more like secretive, like they're friends, they're trying to figure each other out kind of shit.
Yeah.
We're 45 episodes in. Today is the first time that Sachika really made like faces about the world that she lives in and that she's been friends with for the past 6 months.
Yeah.
And that's wild to me, that this is the first time like she actually like took time to question what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, there's a moment in this episode where after she finds out about Rakia, she's like, she thinks back about how, you know, she wanted him to be happy, and then she thinks about what that entails, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm just so selfish." I'm like, Sachika, you are literally the least selfish character I've seen in any media ever. Every single act that she has done up until that moment has been in service of another character, like completely selfless. And her declaring herself to be selfish was so funny to me.
Yeah, and like she was like, if I wasn't, but she said she was like shallow or something. And I was like, Jesus Christ, like she's firing hard at herself.
Yeah, it's crazy. But you know, she comes around and she decides that helping Rakia be a good person is also how she can help people, which I think is very cute.
Yeah, like
And yeah,
I feel like of all people of all things, she's been doing the actual right thing the entire time.
yep, for
And
sure.
today she was like, "But am I not?" And it's like, "No, but you have been. That's been the thing. Like your business is actually the right idea. Like you're knocking it out of the park."
Yep. Yeah. So didn't take her too long moping, but yeah, she definitely had some hilarious moping for a while that was like, okay, you of all people should know how great you are. Yeah, she calls herself shallow, and then I think she does say selfish at some point, but I might be misremembering that was shallow. But either way, not words that apply to her.
Yeah, of all people, definitely not her.
Yeah, and I do really like, you know, as you mentioned, like the different relationship she has with the three main guys. I think is so cool. I like that they've really defined each of them very differently. Like you said, she's very mom to Shoma and has been from the beginning. You know, she has that like sister like ribbing stuff going on with Hanto, and then like with Rakia, it definitely feels more like on the same level. They have this respect for each other that's, I won't say like full on flirting, but it feels more like it could lead to like deep friendship slash relationship type thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it just has to understand her weird outer space friend better.
Yeah, yeah. But also shout out to her for the acting in this episode too, because her, when she was sort of upset with herself, she is like really effectively crying. She has like a quivering lip. She's really selling it,
She
which is
hammed
pretty
it
cool.
up.
She did. Yeah, she certainly did. I really love too in this episode that Hanto is he runs into Sachika when he is bringing Rakia a bag of rocks that would go in like an aquarium. He's bringing him some delicacy rocks.
Yeah, and it was funny because her question was like, "Does he even like fishbowl rocks?" And
Yeah.
then Hanto was like, "Yeah, of course. Don't be silly." And it was extra funny to me because like I was trying to put pieces like translate the candy to other candy. And I guess it's like buying like a bag of like pop rocks or something, or like a bowl of cereal, because like fish tank rocks are very small, and you get like a handful in your mouth at once. So it's just interesting to think of like the different types of snacks.
Yeah.
Like it's not like getting him a hamburger, not like getting him a hamburger, and being like, "Oh, here's dinner, bud." It's like, "Hey, here's a bag of airline peanuts. Have some snacks when you're hungry."
Yeah, that is more the vibe for sure. Yeah. You didn't bring him a four-course meal or anything like that. You brought him like a bag of peanuts. You brought him a little tiny snack.
I mean, and it was a giant bag. I'm just saying, like, effectively, it's the kind of snack you can eat by the handfuls and not like a meal. Too
Which are
straight.
good snacks. I love a good snack where you can just grab a handful of it.
Yeah.
You know, get yourself some potato chips or something like that. That's always good. There also continues to be something very funny to me about someone standing in full on toku plastic suit, like full on granute mode, and having a very dramatic scene with two humans. It's pretty good. I really liked that scene where he's looking very sad while also being a jellyfish monster. And then the other thing I really
Good
loved
suit
about
acting
that,
over there, man.
yeah, great suit acting. And the other thing I really loved about that scene was Hanto trying so hard to wingman him with Sachika, being like, "Don't tell her that." When
Yeah,
he's
'cause
like, "Yeah, I
he would
did."
like admit one of his flaws, and then Hanto would be like, "But he also has this pro,"
Yeah,
and then Rocky would be like, "And yeah, I did kill a lot of people too." And Hanto's like, no, shut up, don't lead with that. But what about
Yeah.
like, but I saved so many people too. Like again, it's like I no, none of them are really relationshipy, and it's just a joke we've made over the time. Like the her and Rocky one being the most relationshipy would make the most sense. But again, like it's these little silly jokes of like, well, it seems weird you'd wingman for the dude so hard when you see that she's upset by what he's telling her, unless like like they're super close friends or like there's more. And he's like, no, don't. My buddy's still cool. Like if you like my
Yeah.
buddy, he made some mistakes, but he does good stuff too.
It's also adorable that like the two of these two guys hated each other so much, like in the beginning. It's cool that they're to the point where they're gonna wingman for each other now. In this like if it's a relationship or friendship or whatever. Like I love that like Honto's going to bat for him. That's a very cute little character development moment.
Yeah, like he's definitely had the biggest full arc of character out of the three. I feel like
Yep.
he went from like hating all these monster people to like Shoma was always okay to him mainly, and then but like he had no reason to like Rakia whatsoever, and he's like full 180 on him, standing him with his best gal, all sorts of stuff.
Yep. And then of course we do have a little bit of fighting in this episode. We have a crab Granute. That is, I think, really just there to check the box that we had some fighting in this episode. He sort of shows up, doesn't really do too much, and then gets annihilated. He looks cool though while he's doing it.
Yeah,
I
like
like
other than getting to go like crab walk, he didn't really do anything.
No. Lacelle is in the real world getting her palm read by him, and then she destroys a bunch of buildings too, which I thought was pretty great. She's like, "Yeah, my dad's gonna own this soon anyway," and then she just launches a a missile beam through like a whole line of buildings.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, this was fun, no big deal," and then
Yeah,
just
just
let it rip.
casual. Yeah. Yeah. So I do think we're setting up like very effectively for the next final arc here. And like we definitely have a lot of stuff that we're gonna have to uh, see the conclusion of now that the Shoma is in Granute World, and I'm excited to see where they go.
Yeah, the season has done a very good job of not going too outlandish in any direction. Of the last couple seasons, I feel like there's still the best potential for this to. It could still shit the bed, but I feel like they're on the proper arc of like we're gonna wrap up all the arcs. We're gonna have one final boss fight at the end, and we're just gonna have a nice little conclusion. And I feel like this might just be a solid season all the way through of like ups, downs, start, stops, but like everything just wraps up in some way or another.
Yeah, for sure. Let's jump over, Toby, to some emails. Our email address is cast@commonwritersucks.com. Once again, that is cast@commonwritersucks.com. We have an email this week coming in from our good friend Shade. And Shade says in his subject line, "Can you believe that the series about sweets and candy is going to end with the protagonist attempting to murder the president?" That's fair. You know what? That's fair.
As any good show should be.
Yeah. Shade says that the final stretch has begun. The producer's blog didn't really have a lot of info, but Shade has a lot of other news. So we're jumping into that stuff. First up, the gavv and Gozyuger summer movie just came out. Of course, last week was a mostly Eclipse show for gavv because the movie was premiering. And we have a lot of new info to cover kind of surrounding the movie. So first up, in the movie, which we won't be able to see for quite some time, there was a surprise guest, Toby, an actor playing a role that an actor that we know playing a role that is new to him. Hodoro's actor, Kamen Rider Gotchard himself, is in that movie, has a cameo as the alternate version of Gosei Red from Go Sager.
I don't like when they do these switching things when it's not the right characters. If you watch this talk about Gozyuger, I was very upset when Taya went from a Boom Boomger to a completely different Red Ranger for no reason. And I don't know how I feel about Gotchard doing the same thing.
I was coming here to poo-poo it just like you. I'm glad you got there first. This one I feel like is a little bit better because you are jumping franchises. So like Kamen Rider to Sentai feels better to me than a Sentai that just ended into the next Sentai. That's way more egregious, like we saw with Taya.
Yeah, like that was the main reason that really threw us off. Of like,
Yeah, yeah,
it took us a while to recognize it was Taya, and then when we did, he was like a completely different Red Ranger, and it's like, dude, but you just stopped being a Boon Boomger. Like,
yep.
if anything, just let him be a Boon Boomger in this season for this one episode and go from there.
And also, I just sent you a photo. He looks very different than Hodoro as well. Like they've redone the hair and stuff. So I think that you and I maybe wouldn't even have recognized that it was Hodoro.
I 100% don't think I would have recognized that.
Yeah,
He doesn't look as little kitty as he used to, for whatever reason.
exactly. Yeah.
It's only been like a year at this point ish.
Yeah,
Year and a
a
half.
year. Yep, since we last saw him on screen. Apparently, he was chosen to be Gosei Red because Goseiger also has a card gimmick season, and they also say gotcha a lot. Plus, their sixth ranger voiced the Gotchard driver, so there's, I guess, already a connection there. Shade says the funny thing is this makes Hodoro's actor one of the 3 people who have both been a Red Ranger and a main Kamen Rider. The other 2 are Yuta Mochizuki, who played Tyranno Red from the season that eventually became Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and Kamen Rider J. And the other one was Keiichi Wada, who played Ryu Ranger, and another use of Kamen Rider Ryuki. Shane says, by the way, these 2 guys are legends. They're both legit stunt actors and martial artists. They're that cool. So yeah, in all of the time of Kamen Rider and Sentai, we've only had 3 actors now who've been both a main writer and a Red Ranger. Shade says, next up we have something I'm sure you're not expecting. You know those trends where you see the weird-looking popcorn buckets? Well, it seems like Kamen Rider has hopped onto the trend. There's a picture of Lascelles, actress. Apparently, she posted on Twitter the popcorn bucket she got when she went to see the movie, and it is a giant gochizo for pop burn. So it's the pop burn gochizo just blown up real big and with popcorn in it.
That seems fun. I would
Yep,
stick my hand in him.
That's very fun. I like that a lot. Shade also tells us that they're announcing a Zetz Gochizo and a gavv Capsim already. So the thing that they always do where they make the old gimmick item with the new writer and the new gimmick item with the old writer. Those have gotten announced. And Shade has some more small Zetz news before we get to the big one. The official Toei Tokusatsu channel have released a bunch of shorts of the previous teaser, but this time we get a good look at the show's footage in them. He links that footage that is compiled together. And then for the big news, Kamen Rider Zetz did debut in the Kamen Rider gavv summer movie with a little cameo. So with that, we know that the identity of Kamen Rider Zetz, it is Ryutaro Imae, which is the same person that everyone had kind of guessed it was from the teaser trailers. So everyone was spot on. The official Kamen Rider English account posted a bit about this and said the main role of Baku Yorozu, the protagonist of the newest Kamen Rider series Zetz, will be played by Ryotaro Imae. A longtime fan of Kamen Rider Double, Ryotaro fulfills his dream, taking on his first leading role in the series. In Kamen Rider Zetz, Yorozu is a mysterious agent who dives into people's dreams to complete secret missions. Don't miss his ever-changing costumes and unpredictable transformations.
Ever-changing costumes and transformations sounds like we made like 7 toys for the season. Get ready, boys.
Kind of, yeah. So you didn't watch it, but I did watch a little like hidden camera footage of the henshin, a little bit of fighting from the movie, because otherwise I wouldn't get to see it until the actual series had started. But the form changes happen fast, like really, really quick. He kind of like does a little spin on the driver, and it switches to the next form. And it's mostly like a color change. It's not a huge difference. So yeah, they're gonna be able to make like 7 different toys for all the different colors. You got to buy them all. That's how it's gonna be. They also, Toby, do a hilarious thing where he pulls out the driver. He starts to put it around his waist. He pauses, and then he puts it across his chest instead. I was like, whoa.
I know you're super excited for that. That's
No, I thought in the movie it was a little silly. Like, I think it's cool that they're doing an across the chest driver, but playing it up that huge, I think is like it's too much. You should just be confident in your choice that it goes across the chest and not make it a big thing. It seems like they're making it a big thing,
I
which
feel
I think
like
is pretty
I
funny.
feel like when you ham it up, like at least you're getting in front of the jokes or the comments of like, yeah, look, we know, ha ha ha, this is stupid. Oh well, you're gonna deal with it. Look how dramatic this is, kind of deal.
I guess so. It also like to me doesn't seem like that outrageous looking. So like I think it's a thing we're not even going to think about after like episode 2. So it's funny that that's been like the focal point of all of their sort of pre-coverage of the show. Like everything they put out about him is like, "Oh my god, the driver's across his chest."
Woo!
Yeah. We get to see a little bit. So he opens that little cameo by shooting a bad guy with his gun. He's got a real gun. We've talked about that before. And he's got this weird little like I guess cowlick in his hair that sticks up, and the camera like zooms in on the hair and it makes like a little sound effect noise even, I think. So prepare yourself to be very annoyed by this man's hair throughout the show.
Can't wait. I hope they do like real good like O's sound guy pissed you off because everything was like when they're eating and stuff. I hope they like
I,
swish his hair all the time. You're like, God damn it.
I hope not. I don't want to be that angry about sound again. They did do a little interview here with Ryotaro. Basically, he's very happy to be playing a Kamen Rider. He says, I loved Kamen Rider Double when I was little, and I remember being taught what strength is. It was my dream and goal to become a writer, so finally my wish has come true. However, since I was going to be the lead in a major production after the joy, I felt equal amounts of pressure and anxiety. It was apparently his third time auditioning for a writer production. He had made it to the final stage before, but each time ended up being disappointed. He went into the audition with the resignation that if he didn't pass this time, he might never be able to become a writer. So he was really happy. He talks about creating a sense of tension on the set and taking care to film in every scene or do a good job in every scene. He wants to be an example for children, which is very cute. He talks about basically like protecting people's dreams. And then, yes, they even ask him like, "Oh, so you wear the driver across your chest. What are your thoughts?" And his thoughts are, "Wow, you wear it around your chest."
It's because if you like tried to sleep with a driver on your stomach, you'd be like immediately uncomfortable probably.
Ooh, that's true.
So it's a little more comfortable to like have it high up on like one of your pecs. Because you can probably like roll around better. You can like both still lay on your side, not get like digging into your stomach. It's just like it's a sleep addition something. It's a sleep number driver. Yeah, set to like 80 and good to go.
Driver is really good. Yeah. Yeah. They talked about. I thought this was interesting. That he's asked what's been difficult since filming has started, and he says that the dubbing was difficult. So basically, where the suit actor is doing some fighting and he has to do lines over top of that. He says he struggled with how to express the voices during battle. But what made him happy was, after all, being able to say henshin. I get really excited when I perform transformation scenes, and every time I see Zetz during filming, I think to myself, Zetz is so cool, as I stand on set every day. So he seems very young and very excited about this role, which is fun. Let's see. Shade goes on and tells us some more news regarding the production side of Zetz. The full team will be revealed during the Zetz press conference, which is taking place this Thursday. These guys were revealed first because they worked on the cameo. So the series composer from gavv, which is Go Sakebi, will be returning to work on Zetz alongside Hiroshi Takaki, who worked on Shinkenger and Gotchard. And the action director for Zetz will be Jun Watanabe. Recently, he was action director for Boon Boomjer. And for this occasion, he has a message for Kamen Rider fans around the world. He said, "Dear Kamen Rider fans, nice to meet you. I am Jun Watanabe. I am pleased to announce that I will be the action director for Kamen Rider Zetz. We're working hard to create exciting action scenes, and we hope that we can bring Japan's tokusatsu to the world." So, There you go. More talk of the world release.
His message should have been "fuck Kamen Rider, Sentai for life," and then he ran off the screen, ran off the stage laughing maniacally.
Japan #1, and then he runs away. Yeah.
Yeah.
He should have been. Really, you get a global audience for the first time. You need to stick your flag in the ground, let people know.
If you want to get the American vote, I feel like being like "fuck this show" would have got people looking.
You know what? That's fair. That is fair.
It was funny the other day too. I forget, someone in our Discord, patreon.com, I mentioned the other day, Kamen Rider Global's account, or at least like the English account, was tweeting the other day, "Hey, now episode 44 of gavv's over. What do you think of the story?" Or episode 45 or something. And it was like, why are you asking the English speaking people when the only way we're watching the show is if we steal it, and we know you don't want us to steal the show? And that was wild to me.
Yeah, there's a lot of like there are a lot of like Kamen Rider shows that you can watch now that are legally available in English. What like 01 is, Kuga is, Ryuki is, wow, there may be
Across
like
all
one or
your
two
favorite
more
streaming sources and all different sources for every season.
Yeah, they're everywhere, mixed up all over the place. But gavv, no, there's no way to watch gavv yet. And yeah, the tweet that they tweeted that I saw was literally like, who's been keeping up with gavv? It was like, hey,
Yeah, so
Your
like,
Honor, not me.
like, hey, English speakers, we want you to reply to this tweet and say, "I so and so have been watching gavv," because we know none of you fuckers should be able to.
Everyone line up and put your wrists together. we're just gonna make some quick arrests. No big deal. Yeah, that's gotta be hard as the social media manager, whatever poor intern is in charge of that account, and having to thread that needle of very clearly I know why people are interested and I know people are stealing this show, but also like I'm not really supposed to acknowledge that. That's got to be such a weird balancing act.
Yeah, I can only imagine. All this seems like a lot of stress.
Yeah. And that was really why like when it was Team Kamen Rider the last time around that we attempted this sort of English speaking Kamen Rider business on Twitter. That was also kind of the outcome there too, of just like, neat, you're trying to sell me toys for shows that I'm not even legally allowed to watch, so I don't really know how much engagement you want on this or not. It's just it's a strange vibe. So I'm really excited for what they do here with Zets. That they won't have that hurdle maybe if they do it right.
My uncle works for Toei, and he tells me what happens in the episode over the phone, but doesn't play it for me or anything else.
That's good. Yeah, it'd be illegal. We would have to arrest him if he did. So I'm glad that he just tells you about it. He tells you the grand tales of gavv, but he doesn't show you any pictures or any video.
I think of all the shows, like if someone was going to be like, "Here's the novelization of the season of Kamen Rider," I think of like the Sentai seasons we watched and the Kamen Rider seasons we watched. I really feel like gavv would be the easiest one to just put into words of what happened this week, and like have it be like a serviceable show.
Yeah, I think so.
Because like this week would be like, and Sachika, you remember Sachika? She's the feisty, happy-go-lucky, wants everyone to be happy person, and she had some morality issues this week because she realized that her best friend Rakia, he has a dark and troubled past. And a lot of this episode was dealing with like the dramatics of her realizing the person he used to be and the person she thinks he is now, and what's going on in their life together. Blah blah blah, and like more so than like. And then 75 little cartoon characters jumped out of the ceiling and said, "Gotcha!" And then a bunny hoodie did a backflip and flashed gold, while a little purple dinosaur yelled, "Gone, gone, gone, gone!" And then a little grasshopper turned white, and you thought he was dead, but he really wasn't. Like, one show works better. One show works better in storytelling than another, I feel like.
Yeah, you're totally right. And I mean, gavv too. It's like so much of gavv is interpersonal drama, as you're describing, but it isn't interpersonal drama that is like crazy and insane like you get with Dawn Brothers, right? Like Dawn Brothers is like character focused, but in like a crazy madcap way that you would have a hard time describing week to week. But gavv is like pretty grounded, pretty normal human emotions that these characters are having. And yeah, you could definitely recap that pretty easily and have someone get the gist of it for the most part.
Oh yeah, because like that's like you don't have to talk about the monsters. You just tell the story of the episode and you're safe.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, Shane, thanks very much for the email. Happy to hear all the news there, and we're very excited for Zets to the press conference to happen. I'm sure we'll have lots and lots more news to talk about next week once the press conference is over. So yeah, once again, cast@commonwritersucks.com is the email address. Cast@commonwritersucks.com. Please send us in an email if you have anything that you want to say. Anything you send, we will most likely read on the show. And as you mentioned earlier, Toby, we do have a Patreon. You can find that at patreon.com/thecommentwriters. $3 a month gets you in the Patreon, and you get access to every single piece of bonus content that we have ever put out up to this point, which is a lot now. We currently are watching through Goes Yuger and Don Brothers. Those are our two main shows. We put up episodes of those every single week. You get to watch along with us. You can also work through the backlog and watch X8 along with us, and watch Black Sun, and watch Boon Boomjer, and all kinds of stuff. So lots of fun stuff there. And patreon.com/thecommentwriters gets you access to the Discord, and you can hang out and chat with us all week long. You don't just have to wait until the show comes out where you can hear our voices. You can talk nonsense with us at any hour of the day that you want. And that's certainly a thing you get.
If that's the thing you want, that is the thing you will get for sure.
Exactly. And the monkey's paw curls. All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up, I think, for the episode for us. So, Toby, why don't you tell the people where they can find you?
On Twitter, it's Life of Tobes. On YouTube, it's Tobes Plays, where by the time this comes out, I think I'll be starting at Poppy Playtime, my next foray into the mascot YouTube bait survival horror games. And on Retro Achievements, it's Tobes Plays as well, where I haven't announced it for a while, but I think I'm like top 3.5% in spite of not really doing anything for a while. So I'm still kind of proud of that too.
Nice. Poppy Playtime seems fun and crazy. I remember when we talked about it last time.
It's basically FNAF, but they lay the story out where it's so obvious that I guess the story, and then the game goes like not directly to me, but basically like confirms my question to myself out loud, like moments after. And it's very like laid everything out here as far as I can tell, versus like the 27 games of mystery and books of Five Nights at Freddy's.
That seems like a nice like palate cleanser then.
It is. It's like the dummies version of ARG stories of mascot horror, and I'm digging it because I understand
it. I like it. For me, you can find me on Blue Sky at meek.lol. You can find the show on Blue Sky at commonwritersucks.com. And yeah, please check out the Patreon, patreon.com/thecommentwriters. And send us an emails, cast@commonwritersucks.com. So that is going to do it for us for this week. We'll be back next time to talk about episode 46 and see what goes on with Shoma in Granute World. We hope you join us back for that discussion. And in the meantime, we hope you have a great week, everybody.